Good evening, friends, followers and channel members. Welcome to a live test flight. Always good fun when we do these. Yes, Sim Update 9 is out. Downloaded. Didn't take too long either, which was kind of nice. So we're going to see what surprises Sim Update 9 has in store for us today. We're being ultra brave as well this evening by actually conducting this flight on VATSIM, which adds a little bit more edge for me personally, because flying in America, a little bit unfamiliar with. Obviously, usually I fly in Europe, so VATSIMing our way through in the USA is something a little bit different as well. We are in Key West, Florida International Airport, and I just thought this, following the completion of the I-95, for those of you that follow that series on a Sunday night, as we completed that on Sunday night, this would just be the perfect way to sort of finish the whole series with a nice commercial flight back up to Atlanta. As I'm looking now, I'm not sure if we actually have any air traffic controllers online. Maybe not. Maybe they're all busy updating. Just have a quick look. No, I don't think we do. But we are, of course, as I say, we are on VATSIM, so that's something for us to comprehend as we go through the flight. So, we are in the FlyByWire A32NX. Our call sign today is Delta 2811, or I suppose we're in America, aren't we? So Delta 2188. If we're going to be completely authentic to our surroundings. Freeway Airport as well. This one, Key West, very narrow runway, only 30 meters wide. It's the smallest, the narrowest runway that we're allowed to depart from with the Airbus 320. So it's going to be sort of semi-real ops, if that's a thing. So good evening to everyone who's already in the chat. Good evening, Drummer Boy, Von McLean, Craig, Larry, J-Hog, Air Gandhi, Mantoga, Chicago, Danny Rubble, Dark Fury, mate, how you doing? I'll talk about Dark Fury's wonderful. I spent the day with Dark Fury today. It's been enlightening. Enlightening, frustrating, and quite good at the same time. A little bit more about that later. Nick, good evening to you. Mantoga, Santiago, good to see you as well. Andreas B, Gary Carter, Drini, hey, yeah, it's been a while. Obviously, I was away last week, so there wasn't any live streams at all last week. Christian, good to see you. Captain HMW, good evening. Ollie, Brian, Arthur, and Chalty, hope you're well. No Limit Howell, is the update running better? I guess we're going to find out tonight. Darren, how long does it take to update? You just have the spinning wheel that says update in the Microsoft Store. Oh, if you've got that, open up the Xbox app. You need to open the Xbox app up in order to update now. Ever since, I forget which sim update it was that they introduced that. Danny D, London, good evening to you. Right, so should we get on board and see what's occurring? I've just seen that all my ground crew seems to have just spawned into place. Should we see if they actually do anything now if we call them? Oh yeah, it looks like they're in something. Chris Hogg, hi mate, how you doing? Hope you're well. Paul asks, any CTDs so far? Touching lots of wood here, Paul. No. RSA, hello. And Renito, this is the experimental version. Right, let's get on board then, shall we? So the operational flight plan is already pinned in the chat if you're watching on YouTube. Flight time today, it's a good length flight this. We've got about an hour and a half flight time, so a nice lengthy stream for us. Let me just go ahead and just set my my lighting. I do like this preset, so let's load that. It just means that hopefully that's better, not having to go through and faff around with things. So, first thing I'm going to do, we're going to get the current Q&A, because there's no ATC here. See, this is the other thing as well. USA METARs are just, I find them very confusing. I suppose they're not if you're used to them. Why is the PTU running? Wouldn't be that loud anyway. I can go in and turn that off. Anyway, so what do we got? QNH is 3010. Got to remember as well, obviously. We're not in Europe anymore. 3010. Let's have a look at our operational flight plan there. So, planned block fuel is 6 tons. What's happening weather-wise? Atlanta, ceiling 2,500 feet. Visibility is fine. Minor crosswind, but nothing that should phase us as long as we get there. So overcast 1100. Let's just have a look what the forecast is. Potentially dropping down to 6 statute miles. Vicinity, there's showers. Yeah, again, there's nothing really that should prevent us getting in. But who knows? We might have a rush on the traffic, so we'll throw half a ton extra on board. Just check out I'm not reading all the metals tonight. Just checking out, there's our flight route and our alternate straight up Florida. Let me go ahead and load some fuel then. So 6.5 tons for that. Should take about 4 minutes. That's set to real time, wasn't it? So is refueling underway? Oh, what on earth's this? Is this the first bug? What's going on here? Why are they turned on? Close that. This is probably why I should have checked the pedestal before we started. Just checking all the hardware. Yeah, so everything in the hardware is correct. Let's have a look at the software. That PTU, I've never heard anything like it. What's occurring up here? I can't see as to any reason why that PTU should be faffing around like that. Although the cargo door's opening. That's the only thing I can think of. Yes, they're getting the luggage in, but that's not realistic in the slightest. So you can actually go and turn that off. Where would that be? Oh, it's finally stopped. There we go. Right, thank goodness for that. So, are we refueling? No, we weren't refueling because the engine starters were on. So let's try that again. What did I want? 6.5 tons. Oh my god, it's still going. Right, refueling is now underway. What is going on? The PTU's on. Why is the PTU on? My parking brakes are set. Shouldn't be happening. Right, done. Let me reset that page before I forget. There we are. Refueling's underway. Let's go ahead and have a look at the oven. We don't normally have to turn the PTU off, though, do we? As far as I'm aware. Correct me if I'm wrong. That should normally just be left on, and then it only usually fires up as and when required. Usually when engine number 2's starting, you can hear it. So a little bit strange, but there you are. All of that is fine. We need to start the APU. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Yeah, HD. Don't forget to turn it back on again. So that's all done. Everything there looks normal. Definitely strange seeing those starter switches in the on position. I'll have to check that next time we do a flight, see if the same thing happens. So what was the QNH? It was 3010. That's set. Our initial climb out, there isn't actually any standard instrument departures here from Key West, so our minimum surf altitude is 15,000, transition is 18,000. We may as well just set transition altitude 18,000 as our initial climb out. Pop constraints on, not that we have got any of course. HD, no, you wouldn't turn it off, but it was annoying you. There's a setting here somewhere in the tablet, I'll find it later, where you can actually turn it off full stop, because it's not realistic, is it, to be able to hear it? Certainly not that much. Right, everything else looks fine. Should we go ahead and set the box up? Is the APU up and running? How warm is it here? 27 degrees. Definitely get that APU running before those passengers come on. It'll be sweltering in this tube. Right. 3 nav green. And aircraft status, correct engines, correct data cycle, request. Let me pop in the alternate, which I will of course have no idea where this is, flying in America. So the alternate tonight is Kilo Bravo November Alpha. Nope, still none the wiser. Cost index of 8, flight level 390, minus 56. That tropo is nice and high, quite close. Happy to leave that. So the flight plan. We've got a direct on our way out, and our arrival we're planning Atlanta 28, and that is on the Jedi 2 arrival. There's some that's one thing the Americans do well. The waypoints on the stars are fantastic. They have awesome names, don't they? So 28, that's going to be right down at the bottom. ILS 28, and the Gandalf Hobbit. Jedi to arrival, and that brings us in via let's have a look. That's going to bring us in for ILS. Is it Perman? Oh, actually we've got either Perman or Terry. Which one would we pick for that? Okay, I guess ATC would probably help you out there, but well, let's go with Perman, because that'll connect up nicely with the ILS. And transition. I've just seen the names of the transitions. So that's going to be coming in from. I need my flight plan again. Lara's, is it? Yeah, Lars. Brilliant. Let's go ahead and pop that in. Right, insert that. Operational flight plan 623. I've got 615. We'll just go ahead and check what that looks like on the navigation display. Check that out. There's a manual leg there, which is what that continuation is, so I imagine, yeah, there it is, look, with the discontinuity. That basically then from, is it Puba? We've got a manual leg then that takes us to Priman, and that's our initial approach fix. We can probably just go ahead actually, and I think we'll be able to clear that, and that will just sort that out a little bit later. We can't clear the manual leg, but we'll be able to go direct. At least I don't think you can clear the manual leg. Can we clear that? Oh, we can. Oh, well, that's nice and tidied up, isn't it? Wonderful. Happy with that then. Just pop this back into the right mode for our takeoff. Let's start getting some passengers on board. HD, I know you're joking when you ask what's so special about those names. Or at least you better be. What was I doing? Passengers, passengers, passengers. There we go. Just waiting for my self-loading cargo to spring to life. Right, so the passengers are starting to board. Let me have a look. Can we pop anything in the RadNav page? I said I wasn't doing full real ops tonight, but we can try and stay true to what we would normally do. Is there even a VOR of any description around Key West? I thought there was. The Key West VOR, is that Echo Yankee Whiskey according to that? pop that in. Not bothering with the NDB, that'll be fine. Right, init B page then. Let's have a look. So, zero fuel weight is 59.1. And our trip wind is a headwind of 14. 6.1 tons. What have we got? 6.5. Oh, HT Star Wars Trek. You've just taken me back to my school days when the arguments were which was better. Takeoff weight is 65.4. For someone who spends a lot of time hanging around airports, HD, I thought you'd have seen those films. Give you something to do. 65.4 is our takeoff weight. And we shall go ahead now and have a look at setting up our performance. So, let's fire up SimSmart. Newly updated SimSmart. We're now on version 1.1.7, I think it is. So, I'll see if Key West is in the database. It might be if I spell it correctly. There it is. Departing off runway... is it runway 9? I can't remember now. What we're departing off of? Yeah, runway 9. Departing off runway 9. There's our meta off, anti-ice off. What was that takeoff weight? 65.4. Call it 65.5 because the APU doesn't burn any fuel. Flex on config 1. Do you know what? This is a short runway. This is a very short runway. Should we try config 3 in a flex? Air conditioning off. I didn't think it was going to do this. When I saw that the runway was below 1500 meters, I thought it's not going to like this. So minimum flex is 44 and toga. Right, okay, let's continue. Let's see if we can set config 3 and toga. Let's see if that comes up with anything. Yeah, it's not going to allow us to do it. It's not going to allow us to do it because of the short runway. So it needs more data for shortened runways. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to toga it, and we'll just take the V-speeds from here. So we'll go flaps 3, toga, no flex, and we'll use those V-speeds. Okay, so let's have a look at a quick departure briefing. Nice weather, experimental version. Anything could go wrong today, of course, due to the nature of the beast that has just been updated. No times we're not bothered about. Threats, busy airport, very narrow runway, and no SIDS or anything like that. So the plan is we'll take ourselves off. In fact, do you know what? There's not even a chart for the ground movements here. I would imagine it's never really that busy. So. Let's cheat. Let's have a quick look outside and see where on earth we're going to go when we get out of here. If we push back, and then we're taking runway 9, which is right the way down there. So push back, taxi on Alpha, runway 9 departure, and then take it off on runway 9 flaps 3, as we've just said. Following that, then we are straight out to our first waypoint, which is at Kanu. Other than that, there isn't any instrument departure availability at all. Right, let's get on board. Plenty of traffic here on VATSIM as well. Are we tuned to VATSIM frequency 1228? Yes, we are. I'm just going to turn off the flypad for the moment. And how are we doing with the passengers? We shouldn't be too far away. Do you know what? I've lost my checklist. Where's it gone? Aha. There we go. Refueling has completed. And we've got just a few passengers remaining. Might hear the PTU again in a moment now. I've just turned that back on. External power can be disconnected. Who brought the pianist on board?
Hi Gavin, all the passengers are on board and we're ready to go. I'll bring you a cup of tea after we've taken off.
Great stuff, thank you very much.
Okay, let me just welcome everyone on board. We'll just check we've got fuel is all nicely balanced. We've already checked the hydraulics. And that's all good. Let's run the before start checklist. So our cockpit preparation is completed. Signs are on and auto. Fuel quantity is 6.5 tons balanced. FNGS is set. Altimeter is 3010. 20 feet. Let's see if toolbar pushback works, shall we? So if we push back, yeah, if we just push back here, we'll then taxi ourselves out. Oh, very narrow taxiways. 320s do, well, certainly 319s land here. I'm not actually sure if 320s do, but 319s certainly do. Hey, Trapped Cousin, we are in the experimental version of the Fly-By-Wire. Right, we've just spawned the tug in there. It wasn't there before, so let me just cancel that pushback and let me stop the pushback. Hopefully I'll be able to pre-plan again in a minute, and then this time it would work. I think that wasn't a sim issue, that was more the fact that we didn't have a pushback tug there and it spawned, so I'm not overly concerned about that as a bug. Nice short pushback. Oh, I've got no voices though. That's a little bit frustrating. Oh well, never mind. Ghost will pushback toolbar. The toolbar pushback still give you a memory leak. I think they fixed that, or at least I've not had any issues with it.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck this morning, let me welcome you on board this EasyJet aircraft as you settle in for what we hope is going to be a most enjoyable flight. The weather today doesn't look to be posing much of a problem, so we should have a nice smooth ride for you throughout the duration of the flight. And as the cabin crew continue making their last preparations, if you could please assist them by getting yourselves sat down, your seatbelts fastened, and make yourselves nice and comfortable. The ground crew have now finished loading the aircraft, and we're just about finished with all our pre-flight checks, so it won't be long until we are pushing back. If you could please give the cabin crew your full attention as they go through the safety briefing, we'd very much appreciate it. So on behalf of myself and the first officer, we'd like to say thank you for choosing EasyJet today, and we look forward to give you a safe flight.
My wife is out on Twitch. Thank you for the follow. I've just seen that username. Great username. I guess that's why you're on here if your wife is out. Peter says you've had many problems with the update. Lots of crashed the desktops. A32NX reluctant to activate the autopilot. Concorde won't stick to a flight plan. Best of luck with the flight. Thanks for that, Peter. We'll see how we get on. Right, let's make our call on Unicom then and let people know what we're doing. So, I don't even know what... there's not even a ground chart here, so we're just going to push back from where we are and hope for the best. Key West traffic, Delta aircraft 2188 is pushing back. That's as much information as I can give you. Right, so let's run the before start checklist below the line. Just check we've got the acupressure in the greens. Turn that on.
Key West traffic, Spirit Wings 464 is starting engines on stand.
Starting engines on stand, because I believe that's a self-maneuvering stand. Okay, so windows and doors are closed and armed. Beacon light is on. Phone is on silent. Parking brake is on. Let's release the parking brake and hopefully, fingers crossed, let's get going. So, parking brake is released. We just need to click the hold button there. If that happens, there we go. Back we go. So, let's see how we get on. Engine mode selected to ignition. Oh, I heard about this. There is an issue with this, isn't there? So that is if you're using the TCA pack, isn't it? Can we... Oh, we'll do that manually for now, because that's annoying. Chris's performance better or worse than the new update? A little bit early to tell, Chris, but we'll find out in due course, I'm guessing. Star Lugo, so far update 9 is okay, but we're literally just pushing back. So far, so good. Really, your pushback tug disappeared a couple of months ago and never came back.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now ask for your attention while we take you through the safety procedures on this aircraft. A safety card is in your seat pocket showing the exit routes, oxygen masks, life jackets and brace position that you must adopt.
Key West traffic, United 805 taxi via Bravo 9 and Alpha holding shot 09.
4 in the middle and 2 at the front of the cabin. Floor lighting will guide you to an exit. Please be aware that your nearest exit may be behind you. In an emergency, leave all cabin baggage on board. Your seatbelt is fastened, adjusted, and released as shown. It must be fastened when the seatbelt signs are on, and we recommend that you keep it fastened at all times. If the air supply fails, masks will drop from above you. Pull a mask towards you to start the oxygen. Put the mask over your nose and mouth. Hold in place with the strap. Pull on each side to adjust. Put on your own mask before helping others. If we land on water, take the life jacket from under your seat. Put it over your head. Pass the tapes around your waist. Click together and pull the strap to adjust. Do not inflate it inside the aircraft. When outside, inflate by pulling the toggle. If it fails to inflate or needs topping up, blow into the tube. There is a light and whistle for attracting attention. We also carry flotation aids for children. Your tray table must now be stowed, armrest down, window blinds open, and seatbelt fastened. We wish you a pleasant flight with EasyJet.
Masquerading as Delta Airlines tonight. So engine number 2 is just spooling up. Let's wait for that to finish, then we'll run the after start flows, etc. There we go. So now our engine mode selector needs to go back to ignition, back to normal. Can I do that with the hardware? Yeah, I can. So that's okay. Need to fix the ignition start then next time. And the APU can come off. Don't need that. Anti-ice certainly is not required. So let's check spoilers. Rudder is zeroed and flaps 3. Set the trim. And the after start checklist. So anti-ice is off. Ecam status is checked. Pitch trims 24.6 and our rudder trim is 0. Now, unfamiliar with the airport, so I'm just going to go and get as many things set up as we can before we begin taxiing. We'll do a flight control check here as well. So, full left, full right, neutral. Let me just move over. Come on. Try that again. Full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral, rudder, full right, rudder, full left, and neutral. Yeah, the page just changed there. Didn't want it to change quite so quickly, but it did. Right, so that's all done.
Refueling 464 is taxiing via Bravo to holding point Alpha 1 for 09.
And how are we taxiing? We're going to be taxiing now via Alpha.
Key West, United 875, line at runway 09.
Key West traffic, Delta 28, correction 2188 is taxiing now via Alpha to holding point Alpha 1, runway 09. Okay, so pets check, no change to our performance. It's going to be a toga takeoff. Engine out procedure here, no idea, because we don't actually have one. But let's think about something sensible. Engine out procedure for this, I would say it would be standard. There's certainly no terrain to concern ourselves with, so we can get ourselves sorted in a nice straight line before looking to return back to the airport. Tell you one thing. I wonder if they fix. Can I pan around and still steer my aircraft? I don't know if they. I don't know. I couldn't tell if they fixed that. Hang on. So let me pan around and now try and steer over to the right. Nope, they haven't fixed that. That's annoying. So most of you will be familiar with the panning bug. When you right mouse click to try and look left and right and then try to steer your aircraft, it right mouse clicking to look around sort of renders the inputs from your side stick null and void. I really hoped they were going to fix that, because that for me is one of the biggest bugbears. So that's really a real shame that that's not being fixed. Oh, how annoying. For anyone that is having trouble finding the update for Microsoft Flight Simulator, I've just seen a couple of people mention that in the chat, then yeah, you need to launch the Xbox app if you purchased Microsoft Flight Simulator through Microsoft Store.
Key West traffic, United 875, departing 09 to the west.
Before takeoff checklist, flight controls have been checked. Departure briefing is straightforward and confirmed. Flap setting config 3, FMA takeoff data 123 blue, 128 magenta, climb nav blue 152, 18,000 blue, toga.
Alpha 1.
Transponder is set, eco memo. Funnily enough, eco memo hasn't come up. It would have normally done by this point. So is that another little bug? How strange. Oh, there's that bug again. Trying to look and steer at the same time. Never works.
Alpha 1 via Alpha.
Matt, thank you for being a channel member for the last couple of months, saying good afternoon, Gavin, have a fantastic takeoff, and let's hope this new update keeps Sim stable. Let's find out. I want to know why my takeoff config isn't working. What this means potentially is as we start rolling and I apply toga thrust, we may get some cautions. Right, let me just try and troubleshoot that. So I've got the parking brakes on here. Right, so TO config rendered null and void. I don't know if you noticed as well, during the flight control check, the lower ECAM page changed, so I had to do that again. So yeah, that's interesting. Rise of Music, how have they not fixed that bug with the right hand click? I know, it's annoying, isn't it? Andrew, would I recommend experimental over dev? Usually, yes. But interesting.
Key West traffic, serving 464, taking off runway 09.
Okay, so there goes Spirit Wings. Who's got an open mic? Key West traffic, Delta 2188, lining up behind the departing Spirit Runners, runway 09 behind. Couple of things we didn't do. We didn't start the timer when we pushed back, and we also didn't have the taxi lights on either. Christian, even the Vaccine radio's bugged. Approach path's nice and clear anyway. This is a nice short runway. There'd definitely be... oh, that bug. There would definitely be a regulated takeoff weight on this runway. 65.5 tons. Should be okay. I hope. Right, we're lined up. Let's leave it there. So I'm just going to give that a another minute or so for separation. TCAS is still working though. That's good to see. For those of you that are flying along, anybody had a similar sort of bugs to what I've encountered so far? So we've had a bug with the ignition start switch. We've had a little problem with the lower ECAM, and TO config is also not working correctly. So I'm just waiting to go toga and hear all the master cautions go screaming at me. At least we're prepped for them. HD terrain radar is not yet working, no. I think, is it the next sim update they're looking at opening up that the terrain and the weather, aren't they? So fingers crossed they might have it working after that. Okay, I think Nick is far enough away from us, so I'm going to release the parking brakes and hold the tow brakes. We'll spool the engines up and then we'll go. So, Key West traffic, Delta 2188, departing runway 09, departure to the north. Tell you what, should we turn those off as well? So, cabin is secured, engine mode selector is normal, TCAS TARA packs are off, anti-ice is off, take off. So 50% N1, set takeoff thrust. Mantoga, SRS.
US traffic, Delta 5475 behind departing company traffic, will line up to 09 behind.
Funnily enough, those brakes seemed stuck on at one point. Checked. V1 and rotate. Nav. Has someone shot the dog? And set climb thrust. Thrust climb. Climb. Flaps 1. And we'll get the autopilot on in a minute. Okay, autopilot 1 engaged. Let's get those packs on. Check that autopilot's flying it correctly. I had heard a couple of reports that the autopilot didn't seem to be working, but it seems to be doing alright now. Passing S speed. Clean her up. Enjoy the view of the Florida Keys as we go. It's meant to be overcast with low visibility when we get to Atlanta, so I'm hoping we see some differences in those clouds following this this update. Jeff, the Key West is probably the most appropriate SEO code out there, and it makes you happy. Yeah, I did notice that when we were selecting today's flight. I thought that is really kind of neat, isn't it? So, fingers crossed. Where's it heading to? That's interesting. It is indeed heading to Kano, but I've just lost the initial navigation track line. If we go direct, will that just kick it back into gear? Let's see.
Key West traffic, Delta 547.
There we go, and we've also got our top of climb marker as well.
One person behind, enjoy your flight, guys.
HD, I've just seen it says, where's the flight plan in the navigation display? Yes, quite. Feelers, in what case and why would you take the packs off for takeoff? Just so you get better performance from the engines.
While the seatbelt sign is on. We recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened whenever you are seated. Toilets are located at each end of the cabin. Remember that smoking is not permitted at any time. This includes e-cigarettes.
Danny, we didn't have a discontinuity to clear, so it was just a maybe another sim bug. Quaffle, what's new with Sim Update 9? Lots of bug fixes apparently, although we have identified a couple of things that I'm sure will get ironed out pretty soon from FlyByWire. Mr. Dino and Quaffle, hello, how are you doing? Hope you're good. Right, now we're above 10,000 feet, we can get the seatbelt signs off.
Ladies and gentlemen, the seatbelt sign has now been turned on. You are now free to move around the cabin and the toilets are now available. However, when in your seat, we recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened at all times in case of unexpected turbulence. Please contact a member of the cabin crew if you require assistance. Thank you.
Tell you what will be interesting. Do you remember? I forget which sim update it was. I'm going to say sim update 5. It may not have been. But do you remember? I think it was sim update 5 where suddenly all the textures of the ground at high altitude just went incredibly blurry. And that was where I dare say, although I'm sure Azoba would disagree, they downscaled the simulator to boost the performance. I'm hoping nothing like that has happened this time, so that when we get over land we'll be able to see, when we're at 39,000 feet or whatever, some good images again. Right, well now we're past 10,000 feet, let's just go ahead and do our usual tricks of clearing out the RadNav page. Check the progress page, flight level 390, so up we go. Pop that in open climb. And we will see what these clouds look like. There should be clouds in Atlanta, as I said a bit ago, when we get there. So that'll be hopefully a chance to see what these new non-popcorn looking clouds look like. Phillies, I use self-loading cargo actually. So Christian, you change the TCA quadrant mapping as long as it's not fixed. Set engine normal, key 7, and set engine start ignition. It'll then go back to normal if you switch it to crank on the physical throttle. Might need to pin that in the Discord channel for some of us to try, Christian. Never use crank mode anyway. No, I mean, to be fair, I've sometimes had some problems where it's been stuck on ignition, and the only way I can get it to go back is to move it all the way back to crank, and then it'll go back into normal. So, yeah, we never use crank mode in the sim anyway, do we? Only you had a problem after Sim 7 where the M32NX was invisible. You had to stop flying for over a week while you tried to figure it out. Oh, Ollie, if you'd have come to me and I told you what to do, you needed to go to your packages, remove the A32NX because there would have been an old one in there. Remove that, then use the FlyByWire installer to download the new one, and your invisible aircraft would become visible again. Swamp 15 says the sim is now stutter-free. Super happy with the update so far. But GD says the ground vehicles are still driven by suicidal Sunday drivers. HD says the popcorn clouds only appeared when it was clear skies. Well, so far so good, because skies look pretty good right now. Dark Fury, you just rebounded the ignition on the TCA throttles and that's worked for you. Egg Andy, glad to be able to join a flight for once. Oh, you're right behind us. Excellent, Egg Andy. That's really great news. Johnny says that the FlyByWire team have pushed an update in the time that we've been streaming. So, you know, FlyByWire are on the ball so much with what they do and sorting things out. So that doesn't surprise me in the slightest, to be honest. Shu says your favourite is when the fuel truck starts doing 360s into the tug. We've seen the tug driver, either the GPU or the baggage handler carts, just smashing into things and tipping over. I find that rather hilarious when that happens. Matt Warren says you have the same issues with the hardware, but it's the parking brake switch on the quadrant. Maybe try rebinding it, Matt. See if that works. Quavel, will I be flying the 77 or the MD-80? The MD-80 launches on the 30th, apparently. Does it? It's not far away than that now, is it? Streamers, hi mate, how you doing? Good to see you again. Anyone updated the graphics driver today? Yeah, I did see a new one was available. I've not updated it though yet. FlySpotter TV, have you seen your ads in the new EHAM freeware scenery? FlySpotter, no, not at all. I haven't not been made aware of that. Lily says, can't wait to be able to move the FlyPlad onto a real tablet. That will be nice, won't it? Ollie says, thanks for your advice. Shame we didn't know about the channel back then. Found the streams just after Christmas and have been tuning in ever since. Ah, it's great to hear, Ollie. Thank you for that. William FS says the new NVIDIA driver gives you a few more extra frames. Well, that's good to hear. It's when it goes the other direction that it's not so good. I never update straight away. I never do. I'm one of those that likes to wait until other people have broke it first, and then if it's not broken, then I'll update it. John, you literally just bought Rex Weather before trying to boot and being told that there was an update. Don't. Well, you've got it just in case the server now ever caps out, doesn't it? And it has happened sometimes, so it is a possibility. The Apple Pilot, do we ever fly any other airlines in the sim like 74, 777 or 78? I am very Boeing orientated. We did fly the CRJ for a while when that first came out, but it's crashed in a field somewhere in Spain now, and I haven't been back to it since. I quite enjoyed the DC-6. We've not had the DC-6 for a while. That was fun. That was airliner flying, but with good old-fashioned GA navigation. German flights, do I know if they've fixed the FPS drop and finally crashed the desktop during long-haul flights? I don't think the update's been out long enough for us to have tried that. But I don't know if it's been fixed or Gandhi, you're heading to Manchester again tomorrow for another spot of spotting. Hope the winds are on your side. 505 left again, but where do you go if not? If they're on, if they're not on the other side, you go and spend the day in the airport pub. You'll love it. Ollie, that's right. If it's Boeing, I ain't going. Brian says he always rates as well with the updates, and Bradus 111 says yeah, he never downloads first either. FlySpotter TV again. Have you seen your ads in the freeware Amsterdam scenery? I'm not quite sure what. I've not put any ads anywhere, not that I'm aware of. C-Salvos, how do you fix the ignition? Yeah, so we've already had this today, haven't we? How do you fix the ignition starter switch on the Thrustmaster pack? It seems to click on and off when starting the engines. Yeah, so if you're on our Discord server, I think Dark Fury's just said rebinding that seems to have fixed it. So we're going to have to try that as well. Quaffle says, haha, yeah, memory's kicking in when you crash the CRJ. Will I be flying the 737 or will I be staying away at all costs? I honestly don't know at the moment. Eric Gamer says, you used to be a super hardcore Boeing guy. Flew on a few new Airbus planes this year. Couldn't believe how quiet they are. Oh, do you know, the A380 is just so quiet. The A380, you think that's going to be a beast, which of an airliner, of course it is, but it's so quiet, which was amazing. HD, yeah, I should be asking for royalties. Absolutely. Air Gandhi, yeah, airport pub. That is a great way to spend the day. So FlySpotter TV says it's a freeware enhancement pack for the Premium Deluxe Amsterdam, and it has lots of YouTube adverts, including for me. Oh well, I certainly don't make those. I think that's just YouTube's own algorithm doing its thing there. Brian says the advert was on a weed store. Dark Fury, you need the pub after today. I think, don't doubt it, mate. But check this out. So yeah, I said I was going to tell people. So basically, I've spent the day with Dark Fury today. We were hoping to upgrade the PC, but we're going to have to get a few more parts before we do that. But what we have done is we've managed to pop a new CPU cooler in there, and that has increased performance quite a bit, to be honest with you. The GPU used to be almost topping 89, 90 degrees, and we're currently at 80, 79. So definitely doing a job. And the CPU is holding a steady 4.06 gigahertz. So it was worthwhile, Dark. It was. Ollie asked, what cooler did I get? I'm going to hand you over to my technical wizard. Dark's going to answer that. A big one. You guys that watch the channel in the past, you'll know I'm the least hardware tech guy person you could ever meet. You know, it's what goes on in that box is complete wizardry. Quaffle says, I modded my PC. No, I didn't. Dark Fury did. And try. Good evening, mate. Hope you're well. Nick asks, is this the new CPU? No, no, no. We're still on the same CPU. Brian, you're getting a...
Traffic American 354 is another 73800. Good, the downwind runway 12, call base.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna... That traffic isn't going to affect us. Brian, you're getting a new PC when the 40 series hits. How expensive are they going to be? Although, the GPUs have come down in price, haven't they? Danny, you have the opposite effect. The 38 handles everything like it's nothing, but your CPU is burning with regards to temperature.
American 354 is on a 15-mile left base, runway 12 lane.
Oh, HD, my first computer was an Amiga 500. Anyone have one of those? I'm sure there'll be those of you on here that have had much older PCs, but yeah, an Amiga 500 was my first. Von McLean, you've got a 3070 Ti on the way. That sounds nice. So Flight Spotter says, oh no, the dev has added ads for YouTubers on the billboards all over the airport, including one for this channel. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, fair play to him. We might have to go and check that out. Nick, you had a ZX81. Brian, Commodore 64. I think our school had a Commodore 64. My junior infant school. Yeah. I remember there was a very early basic version of a Football Manager game on that. And HD, the Acorn 5000 was what we had in school. 3 in total for 300 pupils. But yeah, the prices certainly have dropped. I used to love my Amiga 500. There was some amazing games for that. So I'm betting if we look hard enough, for those of you that follow the Sunday Night Flights, our Sunday Night Flights, our Iconic Journey series, which came to an end this Sunday, I reckon the I-95 will be over there somewhere. Jayhawk, the Sinclair Spectrum. We're reaching cruising altitude, and those textures look pretty good still. They're still nice and sharp. They're not blurry at all, so I think that's good. Danny says, have you guys noticed the sounds they've added for the landing lights when they're out? That low rumble. At first, you thought you somehow busted your bass frequencies at first. Do I think it's a bit too much? I guess we'll find out on landing, because I can't say as I've heard them. HD says you can't hear it in real life anyway, Danny. No, you only feel the landing lights, don't you? If you're doing 300 knots. HD, you can't hear them because you've got headphones on. Joel says he's really struggling with stuttering after longer flights. Do I have any tips? You've tried the registry editing trick, but it had no success. Joel, I'm afraid not. Other than reducing the settings slightly, unless you already have tried that. Not what you want to hear, though, I'm sure. Lilo 25, hello to you. Chalty says he started with a Texas TI 99. VNAV Path, hello. HD, the landing lights are the stealth fairy killers. Oh yeah, you can get an extra 100 feet per minute out of those. Matt Warren asks, do we like the new PTU sounds? Yeah, but it never shuts up. East Coast Canadian on Twitch says the Sims seems all around better for him. So that's good. That's what we want to hear. We want to hear people with some positive reviews on it. I mean, the scenery here, as I'm looking at it, looks fantastically nice and sharp. I'm only running on a 1080 display as well, but I'm happy with that. It's when it did the update that at this altitude everything became blurry. Leroy, welcome. Is there a specification war going in the chat? No, there's an age war, Leroy. We're all discussing what was the first computer we remember having. Joel, it sounds like if I was in that situation, I would be very tempted to reinstall the sim. Hamza says it's worth loading into the Gatwick freeware scenery. Now then, what's happening here? We're about to reach our climb altitude. It's taken us 22 minutes to get this high. Should be on the ground then in about an hour and 10. Gaza says he wants to start using VATSIM, but it seems very daunting. What's the best way to learn everything? Just go into it and try small flights. The best way, Gaza, I would say, is Alt Cruise, is to go find a very busy airport that's got lots of traffic on it. Just park yourself up at the gate, connect as an observer, and listen. And contrary to popular belief, go for IFR flights first rather than VFR. IFR flights are easy. You just read back the controller's instructions and fly the aircraft as you're told. Most of the time. You sometimes need to say, or I need to get down. But other than that, yeah. IFR is definitely easier. Flysplitter TV, yeah, it'd be great to see that, definitely, then we have to thank him for it too. Cholta, the Amiga 500 was amazing. In fact, the Amiga 500 had my first Airbus A320 simulator on it. Can you believe that? Written by a Lufthansa pilot. Vinopath, is the engine exhaust blur a little excessive? I don't know. I don't think it is. I don't know if that's been tweaked actually, this update. I think that probably looks a little less than what it used to. Quaffle says, oh god, VFR sounds way too confusing. I think you've got a lot more to remember if you're flying VFR. And we all know what happens if you're flying VFR and you straight into some controlled airspace you're not meant to. We've heard that before. Was anyone who's on the stream now? Was anyone in the stream when we were going into Stansted a couple of weeks back? That was hilarious. Johnny says he's scared about your VFR radio transmission exam. HD confirming VFR ATC phraseology is nuts in the UK. HD, it must be bad if you're saying that something's lazy. What's your catchphrase? Work smarter, not harder. Dark Fury, easy 225, London. That's the one. Went down in history, that. HD, you failed your first radio transmission exam. You didn't have a scribe what to say. See, that's what we love on this channel. Hearing about the real world pilot screwing up. Makes us all feel a lot better. Elliot, good evening to you. So far so good. A few minor little things, but nothing that I would consider completely broken or busted. I was surprised we didn't have any cautions going off when we took off though, with the TO config not set.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, we'll be delighted to hear that we're now at our cruising altitude, and we hope to give you nice views throughout the flight as we have good weather ahead and shouldn't be experiencing any turbulence. Of course, this means that you will not spill any of your drinks that you may have from the cabin crew as they begin to start making their way around the aircraft. Could you please ensure that the aisles are kept clear so the cabin crew can offer you their cabin service, which will begin shortly. A reminder that EasyJet Single Pilot channel members are able to access free drinks throughout the duration of the flight. Thank you, and I invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the remainder of the flight.
So, Father Jack, I use the toolbar pushback for that. Sparta Legend, thank you for subscribing. John says you're learning to fly in Innsbruck, but you have to do the RT in Holland and prove that you can speak English in Germany. Go Eurocontrol. Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh, Danny HD knows what the jet blast looks like because he sticks his head out of the window. Christian, was that a real conversation? Lufthansa 9999 cleared runway 09er. Wow, that's a lot of niners. Gandhi, thank you so much for your £5 super chat. Really do appreciate that. I hope everyone's having a great flight to Atlanta and enjoying the views. There are some nice views, and we have some great views when we're flying over. I like to do different flights outside of Europe when we're doing something a bit different, like a flight test and things like that. And occasionally we do the specials. I should have pointed out, I don't think I did at the start of the stream, that this is actually a real flight. I don't know if this is even taking place right now. So we'll have to jump on Flight Radar 24 and check out the call sign Delta 2188 and see. Santiago says, hey Captain, when are we going down to Colombia? When I'm richer. No, stay tuned for the special flights. We do them occasionally. Dark Fury says the clouds look amazing. So have you still got what I'm seeing here, Dark? Presumably, hopefully. I'm not seeing hardly any. Mind you, you took off before us, didn't you? Christian says, yeah, it was. When you use this call sign, you always say 999er, but this ATC guy just wanted to squeeze every last niner out of it. Job done.
In just a few moments, we'll commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to purchase a selection of hot beverages, together with drinks and snacks from the bar. We accept payment in pounds, euros, most major currencies, and debit or credit cards. The correct change would be greatly appreciated, and if we could be of any further assistance, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
I find it very eerie and strange to look out the passenger window and see a blue engine. It's the wrong colour. Harvey plays the overlay at the top of the screen is from Fly Life Studios. And to the person whose name sadly I cannot pronounce, because no, sadly I cannot speak Russian or Portuguese. Spanish? Ooh, Danny, 70 FPS, that's quite neat. Anyway, I know we've got a long flight, but I'm unfamiliar with this approach airport and what happens, so should we have a look at how we're actually going to land this thing and get in? We're going to be on the ground in an hour. So we're expecting the Jedi 2 arrival. And that comes in off which transition is it? I forget. Off the Laraz transition. Oh, look at that. Melon, Skywalker, Ewok, Hoth, Leia, X-Wing, Boba Fett, Chewie, Jedi, Wookiee. Right, well, so we're coming in at Laraz. We want to be above flight level 240 at that point. Pedro, thank you so much for subscribing. And we're looking to get down at 8,000 feet at Daffy. So our cruise level today is flight level 390. HD, I knew you were a secret Star Wars fan. Lars is Luke's uncle. Yeah. Actually, no, that was Owen. Oh, it was Owen Lars, wasn't it? Yeah, Owen Lars. Oh, let's not do this. I was a huge Star Wars geek when I was younger. In fact, in my parents' loft, there's a lot of unopened mint condition memorabilia. I'd like to think that's my retirement fund. What we're doing? We are working out when's our top of descent going to be. We've got a tailwind or a headwind. I think we've got a headwind today, haven't we? Slight headwind, so we're probably going to be looking to start the descent around 100 miles or so. Yeah, about 100 miles or so from Lars. So let's go ahead and pop that in there. I think all the waypoint names are brilliant. So this is Daffy. Is that as in duck? Okay, so that's on there. Kind of gutted I'm not doing one of the Star Wars arrivals. Never mind. Let's just go through and check what the constraints are telling us for the flight plan as well. Make sure they match up. So we don't need to go and hit everyone, but if we said that at Wookiee we want to make that a hard 11,000, let's go ahead and just clear the plus that's in there. 250 knots, yeah, that's fine. The next one's Jedi. We can leave that as is. In fact, no, we'll not leave that as is. We will go ahead and do it because I've found that it unless you go ahead and make them hard constraints, it doesn't always like it so much. But then Daffy is, of course, is a hard constraint anyway, so we're going to go and set that to 8,000. It's telling me as well there that looking at what's gone previous to it, we've got some amber asterisks, so it might not hit them, in which case let's make sure that die straits, whatever you want to call that, is hard coded at 14. Then that might just help tidy that up a little bit. So let's have a look now. Not quite sure why it's telling me that it's going to be lower than that. At Lars it should be 240. Well, above 240. Let's pop that in. Yeah, so it's now telling me I'm actually going to miss that because it's telling me I'm going to be below. Oh well. We'll be doing it manually anyway if it looks to be going wrong. Manic Mama says the flight radar says Delta 2188 leaves Key West in 20 minutes today. Oh, we beat it then. Now that speed constraint there at Primman, I don't want to be 250 knots at that point. Absolutely not. So I'm looking for 180 knots at Primman. Let's go ahead and alter that. 4,000 feet. Yeah, that's correct. If it knows what speeds I'm targeting later on, it can hopefully just try and have a better idea of following them. That said, I will not be using VNAV all the way down. That's not a bad idea, HD. Delete all of the constraints but leave the hard one in at 8,000. Shall we go ahead and do that? I can leave the hard one there at Primman because that's the 4,000 for the ILS. So let's go ahead and leave that. That one's fine. Let's go ahead and look at the others then and get rid of them. So Lars will clear that out. Gone. We'll clear the DTS out. Gone. And Wookiee and Jedi. Oh, there you go. That does look much better, doesn't it? Oh, well played, HD. You have your uses. Now the real test is, where's that ring? Oh, yeah, look at that. That's what I want. Spot on. Then, am I planning on adding the remaining available runway and trim settings to SimSmart? So the remaining available runway, it's difficult. It probably isn't too difficult to get that, I suppose. It may be done in time. That all depends on, obviously, the weather conditions, your weight, and I think I have seen in the past there is data available for the amount of deceleration, the different levels of braking give you. So that is potentially possible. But as for the trim setting, no, we're not adding the trim setting because it's not realistic to. It's on that particular page. You don't need it. Top Gun, you haven't had much luck with the FlyByWire VNAV since it became beta operational in regards to the correlation between top of descent and the altitude constraints in the star. Well, HD has just offered a great piece. Just any that are above or below, get rid of those and just leave hard-coded ones in. HD, yeah, I think MUD means the stop distance remaining. Can still see the Atlantic Ocean. Hey, I've got that right. Lazak UK, thank you for subscribing as well.
In just a few moments, we'll commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to purchase from our selection of fresh food available today. Full details can be found in your in-flight brochure. We accept payment in pounds, euros, most major currencies, and debit or credit cards. The correct change would be greatly appreciated, and if we could be of any further assistance, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
Brian, you just press the clear button and then and select it. So hang on. So let me just find where there currently is a constraint. So here, you would just press the clear button and then select it, and that would clear it out. Is HD doing his modding? Good job, HD. Funnily enough, it wasn't the naked HD that we sometimes get on the channel. Less than an hour to go then, and all seems well. So I think Jacksonville ATC is online. That's not going to affect us. Yeah, HD with the stop motion, I think the only thing that I've seen somewhere, and I can't recall where, is, it might be one of the books I've got, the different values between medium and high. How many sort of meters per second, or it might be feet per second, it slows your aircraft down by. But lots of things are going to affect that. Brian, how are the clouds looking directly on my PC? I mean, these clouds are fine. There isn't actually that many of them, though, is there? Vinapath says that you can limit the comments to subscribers only, so nonsense messages should reduce. I'd like to think we actually don't get that many, to be honest. I know that's a curious question. How many people are watching the stream right now who are not subscribers to the channel? Icy Monkey, good evening to you. Mantoga Daz says it looks really good outside. Looks like the update might be okay. Christian, you do the work, HD gets the fame. Typical golfer. Christian, was that you hiding things away in the background? Thank you. HD, a typical captain. Touche. Louis Martin says, hello, thank you for all the great videos there and tutorials, they're great, you are more than welcome. Nick says the popcorn clouds seem to have gone. Excellent. Hopefully the weather injection's a bit smoother. There have been times that we've seen just... You can be watching a nice scene of weather building and then suddenly it'll either disappear or some clouds will appear. That ruins the immersion factor for me. Never did it when the sim was first released, though. If you are enjoying the stream this evening, please do hit that like button. It makes a massive difference to the channel. It really, really does. So thank you to everyone who has hit that like button so far. And of course, if you are new to the channel and enjoying it, then please hit subscribe. And you can also support the channel now via channel membership as well. Speaking of which, the Chill Out Flight channel has been a member for 3 months. Chill Out Flight channel, welcome mate. Thank you so much for your continued support. I don't mind admitting as well that I've caught a couple of your streams in the past. Because quite often when I can't fly, I just like to watch other people fly. I guess that makes me a geek, doesn't it? And I don't care. Yeah, love flying. As we're going to think the performance is better, well, for me personally, yes. But we've also had a new cool CPU cooler fan installed in the PC today as well. So who knows? I guess time will tell on that, really. Dan says the time zones are big issues with the subscriptions. Many of us watch the videos. Well, that's true, obviously. I try and vary the times that we stream as well, Dan. So, obviously, tonight, it's obviously, what is it? It's now just gone 20:30 Zulu time. I occasionally get to do some morning streams for me here, like 0900 Zulu time. For those of you getting home from work in Australia and New Zealand and things. Bravo 623, you guess you're the only one with a problem given no replies. Bravo, I missed that question. Feel free to repeat it, mate. Matt, do I choose my own constant index or let SimReef generate it for me? Normally I choose my own, either 4 or 8 for EasyJet. If I'm not flying those airlines, I'll let SimReef just decide. Although I forgot to set it to auto today, so I think we're flying 8. Maybe Delta would fly a little quicker than that, normally. How far away from top of descent are we? Oh, plenty of time. Nath Jones 5, thank you for subscribing as well. Kyle Jr., you tend to avoid Atlanta since it's one of the busiest airports. It might crash your PC using simple traffic. I can understand that. Christian, almost bedtime for you again. See as well, Christian, you're an hour ahead of me, aren't you? So what is it now? It's coming up to it's 25 to 11 for you. Chill out flight channel. Yeah, I've caught a couple of them. Usually, the problem is I'm usually dipping when I have going on. It's usually in the background. I'm sort of dipping in and out. I tend to like to watch stuff when I'm cooking tea, so I've normally got the tablet in front of me and a Bluetooth headset in, cooking tea and trying to drown out the noise of the kids behind me. Mantogi, you're just emptying your comms so you can update after the stream. Good idea. Hypixel, how long would you say on average it takes from cold and dark to pushing back? Well, if you're doing it properly, that is not streaming like I am and going through every sort of detail and explaining what I'm doing. I bet we could do that quite comfortably in 30 minutes. Oh, HD's just vexed me. 15. That's years of experience talking. Joel, what's new in SU9? Check out the link in the video description. There, the main thing with SU9 is it's meant to be major bug fixes. Mantoga, I've ever done a real ops Ryanair flight in EasyJet. I've done a few Ryanair landings. I'm wondering if the I-95's down there. Our old friend. It's got to be down there somewhere, isn't it? Warren, with this update, do you have to remove the content from the community folder and add it back in afterwards? You don't have to, but it's recommended. I'd say the quality of those textures don't look too bad for this altitude. Don't know which airport that is. Gordo says it depends on how fast you can pack the passengers into the seats. Yeah. Hoffy Players asks, what's my upload speed? God knows. Bravo says, Bravo 623 says, hi, the update went well, but since the update you can't seem to import a flight plan into the McDo from SimBrief. Any help would be great, thank you. I've not had that issue. That might just be you. What I would do is delete it out and then reinstall the FlyByWire, see if that helps.
Traffic, JetBlue 541, clear of runway 8, departing to the northeast, Jacksonville.
Wally says, Nick, he sees a church. Quaffle, you have a feeling that Gavin is the kind of person to put an Emirates livery on a 320 and fly an Emirates 777 route because I can't leave the cockpit of an A320neo. No, Quaffle, if I'm going to do something like that, I'm going to wait for the 350 to come out, or I'll do it in the Headwind 330, which I keep saying I really want to do. I just need some time to be able to do it. HD, if you can see a golfer's tee shot from 390, you have a decent enough eye for the class 1. Well, that's me out then. Joel, is there a link for the custom views for the FlyByWire? Yeah, on our Discord server. So these views that I'm using now to move around, the ones that we created on the channel, and they're available for you to get on the Discord server. Yeah. Ava says the grey clouds still seem a bit grainy. Actually, that's not a bad point. Shall we have a quick look at what the weather's going to be? I can do this, send off a weather request while you enjoy this wonderful view of wherever that is over there on the eastern seaboard of the USA. Ice Mugget, have I ever flown on Evio and Vaxim together? Who would do that? Two different controllers giving you two different sets of instructions? Nah. Zhao, do I know when the A380 or the A350 will be available in Microsoft Flight Simulator? No, I'm afraid I don't. But for now, if I want to do long haul and stick with Airbus, the Headwind 330 would be my go-to. HD laughing, yeah, it's actually the real Atlantic, that one. Danny, my cloud setting is Ultra. Yeah, one of the few things that I've got set at Ultra. I'd say they look pretty good. Hey Colin, good to see you back with us. Yeah, we're just enjoying the sights at the minute. Anyway, should we do a brief? We are on Vaxim. So, the box is all coded in and set up for how we want it. Let's just work out and go through how I'm going to fly it. So we are just going to be 8,000 feet at Daffy. From there, we're getting down to 4,000 feet. Nice steady descent as we get to Puruman. 1,000 feet. That's our plan. Once we've passed Wanza, by that point, I'd like on landing, we'll vacate Sierra Golf 6 or 4, backtrack on Sierra Golf, and then make it up as we go along. Ooh. So guys, let me know, are we back at all? Has everyone got us back on? Hit F5. Hopefully that wasn't a major issue. Julia Rocco says, greetings from Brazil. Is VNAV still working properly? Guess we're going to find out on our arrival. We were just discussing what we were doing with that. I think if you are having some stuttering, that's at YouTube's end, not mine. Everything here looks to be hunky-dory, thank goodness. Was that Lucas's fault, HD? Did he ask how it was going? Oh man, yeah. Don't ask questions like that. Ever. Right, have we got that weather update? I can normally tell when something's going wrong at my end because the transitions in the sim go very, very poor. But no, everything's all good here as far as I can see. Right, what's the weather doing? Let's find out. I've just realised I'm watching the streamer on my phone to make sure it works. Why am I doing that? Don't need to do that. So, weather here for Atlanta. Oh, who said it could get windy? That wasn't in the plan. So the winds are 320 at 10. Gusting 18. Visibility is 10 miles. Overcast 1,300 feet. Temperature is 17. QNH is 3017. Oh, sorry, altimeter is 3017. Christopher Shaw, thank you for your membership over the last 8 months, Chris. Really do appreciate that. HD, where's F5 on the iPad? Pull down. Right, let's go ahead and just fill out the perf page with that arrival information. Temperature 17, sorry. Wind is 320 at 10. Transition altitude is 18,000, and the minimums in America, they use miles, don't they? So yeah, Cat 1. It's is that 18,000 feet or half a mile? I think that's what it's works out at. Either way, it's Cat 1. So 1198. Not going to be an auto land. Can see those clouds building now, actually, as we edge a little bit closer to our destination.
Ladies and gentlemen, take full advantage of your tax-free allowances today and make some amazing savings with our boutique range. In your in-flight brochure, you'll find details of our award-winning selection of gifts, most with massive discounts, some of which are exclusive to you as an EasyJet customer. Make the most of your opportunity to shop and save from the comfort of your seat. If you'd like to see any products, have any questions, or would like to make great savings, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
So Johnny JT says, FlyByWire fixed the issues that I had on departure. I mean, you can't ask for better service than that, can you? That was about an hour ago, and it's done. HT, you pulled down and it hurt. Pulled what down? No, don't answer that. Again. I think that's a worldwide thing. There are some airways that are a bit different. I think there's one. Is there one in France or going down into Spain that's bucks the trend? Lucas, did you hear about Trevor Jacob, the YouTube, who crashed his plane verdict? I'm not sure I did that. I might have done. I might have read something. But I can't say for certain if that was the guy who you're referring to. Johnny's insane how quick they fix things. They probably saw the stream and thought we'll fix it live. Maybe, I don't know, but I'm sure lots of other people will have reported it to them as well. So Linda says, any insights on the incoming Mr. Approach flight plan? No, I'm afraid I know nothing about that. Speaking of the Mr. Approach, though, our Mr. Approach, I didn't brief it, but the Mr. Approach is climbed to 1,500 feet, then whilst continuing to climb to 3,000, left on heading 215 to intercept 062 radial to Pajvo and hold. Worth noting as well, the elevation of this airport is about 1,000 feet, so when we're taking our calculations for our descent into account, we need to be aware that we've got 1,000 feet less to lose than normal. Quite a few, from looking at the chart, quite a few high obstacles. Not in our flight path, of course, but you can see those. So usually the ILS or the arrival chart has white arrows showing the highest points. Well, just look at that. There's 3 all exactly the same height, which is it's the first time I've ever seen more than 1 on there, all at the same height. Mantoga, will I need anti-ice on descent? Possibly. There's lots of cloud there. Temperature's minus 56 at the moment. And Matt asks, is there anything that I enjoy about flying in America versus Europe? I think it's just variety. I like the real ops sort of things that we can do in Europe, but just different scenery, different variety, you know. You have an entire world at your fingertips with Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now, the whole point of this channel is to specialise in one particular aspect of flying, but then when we come sort of out of the comfort zone a little bit to a different part of the world, it's just nice. And everything looks different. Everything looks completely different. And of course, the simulator has got really good data for the USA. So when you are looking out of the window, it looks... you know, it looks really good. Jonty says you like the USA VATS and controllers are more likely to ask you to do something wild. What, like a visual approach? Right, not going to be long now till we start to head down looking at that. 10 miles. And then we're heading down to 8,000 feet. So before I do anything, just check we haven't got any ATC. No, so we are on our own. Christian Starmer, good evening. So far so good. We've had a couple of bugs on the ground, but the FlyByWire team have reportedly already fixed them, so you can't ask for more than that. Right, Mac descent and flight level 080. Oh, pressed the wrong button there. How do we set this? How do we set the altimeter in this? Uh, 3021's fine. Oh, HD, you thought you had me on a technicality there, didn't you? No, 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 no. I'd got that one. Thought it was just looking a little bumpy there. Oh, Danny, can you change it in the FB? Well, that would make sense. I'm going to leave it as it is. We don't really fly in America that often. Ryan, thank you for your continued membership for the last 3 months, Ryan. Really do appreciate that. Very kind of you. Saying, really enjoying the streams and being a member. Keep up the great work. Ryan, thank you so much. And good to have you on the live streams as well. Not that we had any last week, but we tried to make up for it before. Debated on Twitch what livery are we using. Today we are in the glorious Delta livery, as this is a real live Delta flight. Has the real live flight taken off yet, do we know? Denzera, has any new photogrammetry cities been updated? No, because this was a sim update, not a world update. So Microsoft Flight Simulator has two types of updates. They have world updates where they improve scenery, and sim updates where they supposedly update the simulator. Quite a nice shiny livery as well, isn't it? Look, a nice clean plane, straight off the production line. What did I say to HD? Oh, I was one out. There we go. Right, let's not sightsee too much. Let's monitor this this profile. So we've got 102 miles to go. Hey, Peter Scarab, how you doing, mate? I can't help with any procedures. You're not familiar with the FAA's weird standards. Christian, on the IFE, you can change the options for the ISIS to show both QNH and HG. Oh, fair enough. HD using Google. Can't do that at 39,000 feet. Well, you can in some aircraft. Johnny, you're failing miserably to catch up. You just entered the start. That's a good thing. I don't really want you to catch up with us. not too close, anyway. VNAV seems to be working a treat at the minute. Habib, what are the good evening? What are the changes to Sim Update 9 on Microsoft Flight Simulator? So if you check out the video description, there is a link to all of the changes, because really there's far too many to list. But it's mainly about hopefully squashing bugs. That's been its biggest. That's the main focus of Sim Update 9. Does anyone want to see me attempt the new landing challenge as well? See what time is. So we should be on the ground around 15 minutes or so. What time is it? $20:07. Yeah, that's not right. Should be 21:02, I believe. That's interesting. Anyone else got an issue with their clock showing the incorrect time? Callum, the real Delta 2188 took off 16 minutes ago. Dan asks if the cell cal plate here can be changed, or is it hard coded? You can't change it in the sim, it's part of the livery. HD says we've had this clock bug before on a Marathon Monday flight. I remember that. I think it was running at, was it running at double the speed? Or half the speed, something like that. That to me doesn't look to be running at anything different. It looks, they look like good solid seconds. Yeah, they're solid seconds, but it's just the wrong time, isn't it? Sure, time moves slower at 39,000 feet. No, it just slows down the faster and closer you get to the speed of light. Oh wow, there's some geekiness coming out. J Hogyo says 21:03. Well, that's good, because that's the right time. Can someone rewind back to the very start of the stream and see if it showed the right time? What would that have been? It should have showed around 1700 hours right at the start of the stream. Nick, you've got 2049. That's bizarre, isn't it? Joseph, do any series need updating? Always check your packages after any update, just to make sure. VNAV's looking spot on, holding us nicely. Captain Floyd on Captain Fjord on Twitch. Thank you for the follow. Really do appreciate that. Right, we're into the nitty gritty bit now, guys. Coming into a big airport. We'll see how the sim handles it. Joseph, have I noticed any differences with Sim Update 9 so far? Only a couple of little minor bugs with the A32NX from FlyByWire, but they have since been fixed. So after this flight's finished, go and download the latest dev or experimental version. Don't download the stable version. The stable version will probably not work. Christian, the best bug fixes. Fixed a rare bug when a player could be stuck in a group without the possibility to leave it. That's what I need for the YouTube followers. Nick, you wonder though if time stopped for you as you kept exiting to try and sort out the ignition key bind for ages. Maybe. Does the time continue if you press escape? It's not something I've ever noticed or tried, to be honest. J-Hug, when I was on the ground it said 1820. No, that wouldn't have been right, would it? At 1820 I was wrestling children into bed. The stream didn't start until about 1900 Zulu hours. Little pools of rain, a bit of verdure showing down there, which that's good. The forecast did say there were showers in the vicinity, so I guess we'll see how that comes out. Here's the gen. Have they pushed an update out for the stable build? Ah, they're great. So fast. Very fast. Should be on the ground then in... well, actually I'm really confused. UTC 2037, based on that, that's half an hour, isn't it? Guess we'll see. Deepak, Captain 1, what type of A320 am I flying? I'm flying the Neo in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I do love the cloud effects. So, can we see the level off marker, and is it going to be... well, it should be here at Daffy. I'm not sure where the level off marker's gone. At the moment, we're absolutely smack bang on profile.
Landmark area traffic, United 875, is overhead Graham at 7,000 feet. We're approximately 25 nautical miles to the east of the airport.
Talia, rubber mallets help with putting children to sleep. Oh, not with mine. One of them would just take it off me and use it on me. She's going to be able to look after herself in later life, that's for sure. One of them, you walk into a room, yell at them all and say, who on earth's done this? You look at her, she gives you a look and you think, do you know what, it's fine, just carry on, I'm going back downstairs. Ollie, I don't want to stir up any controversy, but what are your opinions on using a yoke to fly the A32NX? Sacrilege. Right, now this is going to be interesting. So we should be looking now to target 250 knots. So we'll see where our intercept falls. If it's planned this in, this is going to be really nice. Jonathan, hi mate, you've watched everything from the beginning to Takeout. I presume you mean Takeoff. And then skipped ahead to live now. Any issues? No, not since then. No. Not at all. Peter Scarab, just do what you do, brandy in a club. Is that for you or the kids? Right, so we're targeting speed of 250 knots. Profile is absolutely amazing at the minute. Wish we got weather radar. I suspect that might look quite interesting if we had. That's the bonus of the stable build if anyone's flying that. Hey Tom, flight's going well so far, mate. Touch wood. I think it's warming up enough not to worry about the anti-ice. We'll leave it on for the moment. Right, approach checklist. So, we've done our arrival brief. Seatbelt signs are on. Minimums are 1198. Engine mode selector is normal. EFB is stowed. Right. I'm going to pull 250 knots because I'm going to activate the approach phase. That's definitely the best I've seen VNAV doing that. I think HD as well. Your suggestion of deleting the superfluous constraints has probably really helped with that. Nick, you think the cloud layers are better? I have to agree with you. I think this looks really neat. I'm looking forward to the arrival. And here we go. Look, we're getting down to 8,000 feet, exactly where we wanted to be. Jonathan, funny how you Brits touch wood while the Yanks knock on wood. At least we do all speak English and we understand each other. Tom says just in time for landing, it looks smooth. It does. Right, track mileage to go 41 miles. So we're now going to start a steady descent down to 4,000 feet. This is where VNAV is going to leave us though, because I'm going to direct that ourselves. So 4,000 feet in 20 miles, that's no issue to us. Nice steady rate of descent. Let's continue. So down to 4,000 feet. And we'll look at 1,000 feet per minute. Also give us time to start slowing down as well. Look at that. Don't want to fly through that. HD, yeah. It was spot on 8,000 feet at Daffy, and it even managed the speed reduction when it had to manage 250 knots. That was definitely the best I've seen it handled by the aircraft. Kyle Mansell, thank you for subscribing, and Jay Bongofed as well. So we're going to start slowing to green dot in a moment as we leave here.
Traffic United 875 now established on the high slope on 27 right, 10 miles.
Joseph B, have you seen the Phoenix A320 project? Absolutely, yeah, keeping a close eye on that. This could be an interesting arrival over here. Wonder what the weather is going to be like as we come in. It just looks like there's a big clear cloud right over the airfield. ILS frequency is 11175. It has auto-tuned. It's on the RadNav page. So we're probably just not picking it up quite yet. What have we? We've got 28 track miles to go. Hopefully it'll be identified shortly.
Flight level, sorry, 14,000 feet, mission approach runway 27 left.
Atlanta traffic, Delta 2188 is currently 22 miles to the east, inbound runway 28. Kyle, a week away and you missed simming. Hey, I did last week. You're not on your own. Thrust idle, over descent. There it is. IPKU is identified. Mario, we're not using VNav now, we're bringing this in ourselves, but actually you can see it's it looks like it wouldn't have done a bad job otherwise. And start configuring in a little while. At the moment we're nicely under the glide slope. About 20 miles out. So don't really want to go too slow at the minute. But 4,000 feet we should hit that at Prumen. Slam the localizer, there we go, lock star. And flaps 1, speeds checked, flaps 1. And we should start to intercept that glide slope at around about, what was
sorry, 27 right at Atlanta.
Atlanta traffic, Delta 2188, established runway 28, 16 mile final. There's our glide slope. HD dragging it out. Yeah, well, value for money. I'm giving time people to arrive if they're just coming in. They don't want to miss the landing. Look at the cloud layers though. That is some cloud. I love it. Here comes that glide slope then. So we'll set 180 knots and we'll get flaps 2 out.
Atlanta traffic, advise caution. Traffic on runway, non-communication.
Standard. Flaps 2, speeds checked. Flaps 2. Let's arm the glide slope. Downtown Atlanta. Cat 3 single. Cat 3 dual, autopilot 1 2, glide slope blue.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will shortly be landing. Please
Must
ensure
approach
your
altitude
cabin
set.
bag is safely stowed with your
Atlanta traffic, Delta 1532, left turn out of Puba, heading 3304, visual approach runway 27 left.
You now need to be seated
7,000
with your seatbelt fastened, ready for landing. Please help us by handing in any rubbish, newspapers or magazines that you do not want to take with you. The toilets are no longer in service.
God, that looks good, doesn't it? Do you think we're going to see the runway?
2,500.
Radio altimeter is alive. Atlanta traffic, Delta 2188, runway 28 established, 8 mile final. I think that forecast was spot on, wasn't it? Ceiling was about 1,200. Showers in the vicinity. There is cloud cover over the airfield at the moment. Let's configure for landing. So, gear down, manage speed. Flaps 3, speeds checked. Flaps 3.
$1,000.
1,000 feet. Landing checklist. Cabin secured, auto thrust speed, go around altitude 3000 set, ECAM memo, landing no blue. We have the runway in sight, just. Weren't quite stable by 1,000 feet though.
$500.
Autopilot off, I have control.
$400. 100 above.
Tell you what,
300.
I can feel that wind. Have to drive that aircraft down a little bit.
Minimum
Continue.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20.
Oh, what's happened to the weather?
10. 5.
Well, that is exactly what I was hoping. One of the kinds of things that they had fixed. That spoilt the immersion, didn't it? That was the kind of thing I was talking about a little bit earlier on in the stream, where the weather would just spontaneously change.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew will shortly be leaving their seats to perform safety-related duties. However, We ask that you remain seated until the fasten seatbelt sign has been switched off.
Atlanta traffic Delta
Portable
2188
electronic
vacated
devices for
runway
messaging,
28.
calls or internet access may now be used. Please make sure that you take all your personal belongings with you, checking in the seat pocket underneath.
Atlanta traffic Delta 1532 fully established 27 left 10 miles.
In the lockers in case anything falls out. Smoking is not permitted until you reach a designated smoking area. On behalf of the captain and the crew, it has been our pleasure looking after you today. Our ground crew will help you complete your EasyJet journey. For the latest news, promotions, flight and destination information, check out our official Facebook page, Twitter or EasyJet app.
Yeah, so the METAR change there, that was a pain. Just ruins the immersion, doesn't it? Now, does anyone know where we're going? This is a massive airport. I just want the first gate I get to. Not HD, sorry, Nick, did you ever crash the desktop? Oh no. Well, that is annoying. Well guys, regardless of the weather, welcome to Atlanta. Is this a handcrafted airport, by the way? If it is, it's actually handling it really well. Kyle says the USA distant measuring is different to the UK.
Atlanta traffic Delta 1532 short final 27 left.
How does that work? Surely is that not your distance to your runway threshold? Oh yeah, this is definitely handcrafted. Definitely handcrafted. Now, there was some aircraft coming into land, wasn't there? So, let's just slow down as we approach the runway. Aircraft coming in just here. We'll not roll out in front of him because, well, that would be cruel. We've got a bit of time to go. Oh, Nick, is this where they tested velocity? Oh, yes, it was, wasn't it? Atlanta. Yeah. I remember seeing that. So who's that then that's just come in? I love delivery. Thank you. Who was that? Just out of interest. Right, well now he's passed. We're going to cross runway 27 left. Does look a lot more like the weather forecasters forecasted as well now with the showers in the vicinity. We saw those above, but down here it actually looks even more correct.
Delta 1532, runway 27 left vacated, taxiing via Tango to Alpha Gates.
That was an active runway, so we should have put the strobes on, but never mind. Oh, this is a huge runway, isn't it? A huge airport, sorry. Oh, there's a Delta building over there, look. Should we just go there? Can't see any aircraft coming in or hear any coming on 27, so let's go with it. We've shut down engine number 2. So, spool engine number 1 up, gives a bit of thrust across that runway. Dallas Fort Worth is the biggest, isn't it, Timothy? If memory serves. Carl says Delta's Terminal A. I'm not going to be that pedantic tonight. It's good. We're going to park it where we park it. Ideally, somewhere close, because it's getting it's B&B time. Dark, is that you in the United? We'll go park next to Dark. Mantoga says he's going to update the simulator now for a flight tomorrow. Fantastic.
Pushing back, 827. Highline. Atlanta traffic, Giant 3038, 10 nautical miles out from G Guy from the south. We're going to ILS 9 right for Atlanta traffic.
Looks like the sun's coming out now that we're landing up. There we go. Parking brakes set. APU's up and running. Get the APU bleed on. Shut down engine 1. And job done. Who's opened the guarded switch? Seatbelt signs can come off, beacon can come off, external power, get that connected up. Transponder to standby. Oh, I'm going to have to get rid of that barking dog. That's even more annoying than my barking dog. Haven't forgotten the yellow electric pump though. I think that's yeah, that's off. Ah, nice. Yeah, this is a good airport, this. Really nice, lots of detail. It's like the London Heathrow in terms of America. There's a lot more handcrafted ones I think in America though, isn't there? Which makes sense. Bigger. Right guys, I think that was been, you know, sort of semi-successful. A couple of bugs we identified quite early on, but the FlyByWire team have reportedly already dealt with those whilst we've been streaming. So that was really good. VNAV worked quite nicely. The sim itself seems, well, stable enough, but I guess time will tell, won't it? So we're going to be back with some proper real ops streams later on in the week. See how we get on. The biggest thing for me though there was just that METAR change right at the end. Microsoft Flight Simulator never used to do that, so I hope they can solve that. Not quite sure why that's an issue, because obviously it never used to be. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. Please do leave a like on your way out. I really, really do appreciate that. Thank you to everyone who's donated and contributed to the channel's upkeep during our live test flight tonight. To the EasyJet Sim Pilot channel members, as always, thank you for your continued support of the channel. HD, as always, as well. Thank you for your guidance and knowledge. I look forward to chatting with you all on the Discord server. We might even squeeze a proper real ops flight in tomorrow, but that depends. So I look forward to seeing you all again very soon. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.
Atlanta traffic, Giant 3038, 10 North mile south from runway 9 right on the ILS. Atlanta traffic.
Atlanta traffic, Dog 5475 is 5 mile final ILS 28.